All right, folks. Well, this is it, but this is not it. This is the last night of Reggie's Sleep Out at home. So glad for those of you who are tuning in live. And for those of you later on, again, make sure that you share this video. Hey, if you are tuning in live, let us know that you're tuning in live and make a comment. Say hey to Toby O'Berry, our YSSHYC director. And you're welcome to also say thank you to everything he's done and everything everybody's done to make Reggie's Sleep Out at home a possibility and impact so many youth. Just heard right before we went online that we're at now over $100,000 raised. Is that right, Toby?
That's right. I believe over 101.
Okay. So, but we still have the goal is 130,000, right? $130,000. And this is the last official night of the Sleep Out. But again, we'll talk maybe a little bit later on about how we can keep this moving, keep the momentum going with Reggie's Sleep Out at home. You can go to www.reggiesleepout.org. You can get all the information that you see right there on the screen. And it even has a little ticker right there, $101,128. A huge thank you to all of those who have jumped on board here. And of course, the big name sponsors, but the real big names are the individuals, which we'll get to a little bit later on and maybe share some photos of those who have jumped on board. Again, I have Toby O'Berry, our IHYC director, which is also the AKA the Iowa Homeless Youth Center. And again, I think it's really important, Toby, to share what the Iowa Homeless Youth Center is and what it does. So before we can go much further, can you real quick fill people in on what it is you do and what we're talking about?
Sure. So Iowa Homeless Youth Centers, we work with transition age, at-risk, and or homeless youth between the ages of 16 to 24. So really, it's kind of that transitional time in life for that 18, 19, 20-year-old who really doesn't have a stable adult in their lives that they can count on. So most of what we provide is supportive wraparound services, basic need items, but as well as like safe housing and emergency shelter. So everything from essential need items all the way up to helping kids get their 2-year, 4-year college degree. So it's all based around self-sufficiency. And we work with over 650 youth a year at IHYC.
Wow. And all based all around self-sufficiency, but all based around the support ultimately that you get too, correct?
That's right.
So, I mean, this is what we're talking about here and providing the support, making everything here possible. And this is one event that's done, but I think the biggest event that's done, Reggie's Sleep Out at home, that you can still jump on board on. I also think that we have a video that we would like to show that kind of recaps something. Toby, anything you want to say for folks before we watch this?
Yep, it was a video we ended with last night, but it's really a powerful video talking about Reggie Kelsey, volunteer of our agency, wrote a book about Reggie and had interacted with Reggie, and some of her family talk about that impact. So it's a great video from a family of strong supporters, and we wanted to share it again tonight on our last night.
Okay, well, here we go.
My mom, Colleen Conrad, wrote Reggie's Place, and I'm Carly Conrad, and I'm her daughter.
Good evening, my name is Colleen Conrad, and I am at home, Reggie's Place 2020 style. And I'm here to tell you about the book Reggie's Place. It's a children's book that was written a few years ago to inspire and educate the public and kids on what it's like to be homeless. At the time, my daughter Cameron, 5, had a lot of questions about homelessness. We were trying to think of a way to tell Reggie's story through a book, since I have volunteered there for about 10, 11 years. And so we had her be the narrator for the book. And so she will read a little bit about the book to tell you Reggie's story.
I'm Cameron Conrad. I'm 14 years old. I am technically the narrator for this book from when I was 5. And yeah, here's 5-year-old me. My mom is a volunteer at Reggie's Place. She said it's a place where homeless youth can get help when they need it. At Reggie's Place, Mom helps those who are less fortunate than we are. I asked her who homeless youth are. She said they are kids, teenagers, and young adults who do not have a home to live in or parents to take care of them. As much as she can when she's not taking care of my little sister. I asked Mom how she helps these homeless youth. She said by showing them she cares about their health and happiness. She said she wants these kids to know there are people who do care about them and want to help them have a good life. I'm glad my mom is doing this. All kids should have people who love and care for them. This is a picture I drew when I was 5 of Reggie and his family, and my cat Nick, who had passed away at the time, was there too. And this is a picture that Reggie drew that somebody gave my mom. And there's other pictures that he's drawn, and him just imagining what it would be like to have a family and a home.
Reggie just wanted to find his place in the world. More than anything, Reggie wanted a family.
Carly, so when you read the book and learned about Reggie's story, what did you think?
I felt really sad because I just felt really bad for all those people that have to go through without having a family and all their support. And I'm so thankful for my family. And I just couldn't imagine what it would be like without them.
Cameron, what can you tell me about what you're thankful for because of having a home?
Honestly, just everything at this point. I mean, the list goes on. Sad. I couldn't imagine not having that. Having good education, just having people that care about me.
Mm-hmm. What do you think Reggie wanted most in the world?
Family, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, family.
Under the stars so kids can reach them. Please join us in raising money for this year's Reggie Sleepout 2020 from home.
And there you have it. That couldn't have been recapped better, I think, about why so many people are sleeping out, getting apart, making an impact for Reggie's Sleepout. And this year's looked different. In the past years, it's been kind of an in-person event. This year's been really unique where everybody, no matter if you're old, you're young, if you can drive, you can't drive, that you can jump on board and be a part of Reggie's Sleepout at home. And I was just talking, Toby, about the impact. And each night during Reggie's Sleepout at home, you've highlighted a dollar amount about what that impact can do. And it's been a dollar amount from $100, less than $100, all the way up to what we're talking about tonight, which is $1,000. So if you're tuning in right now, what we're talking about is what a difference $1,000 could make with the Iowa Homeless Youth Center and ultimately with Reggie's Sleepout, which is why we're raising money. So Toby, talk about that a bit. Did I get that right, that we're talking about $1,000 tonight?
Yep, you're right, Rusty. So when you look at the impact of $1,000, it is a big number, and it's kind of a transformational investment in our agency. The first item that we'll touch on is just kind of our street outreach team provides survival kits or kind of survival backpacks that we hand out to youth that have hygiene items and food and blankets, as well as kind of some other core components. And $1,000 would provide 60 survival backpacks for youth that are living on the street. So it's a big deal. And then the second item at that $1,000 level would allow for our Lighthouse Transitional Living Program to cover their utility expenses for 6 duplexes that our youth live in for free for up to 2 years while they kind of transition and get back on their feet. So that $1,000 will provide utilities to cover all 6 duplexes for a month. And then the third item at that $1,000 impact level would provide 3 months of financial assistance to one youth in our PSERT program, which is our post-secondary education retention program. So they earn financial incentives for being in the program, getting good grades, meeting with their tutors and advisors. And so that $1,000 would provide 3 months of financial assistance for a youth in our post-secondary education retention program.
Wow. So you're talking in the backpacks alone. What goes into these backpacks? And real quick, 60 backpacks.
Yep, 60 backpacks. So even just the bag itself, that cost of the bag, and then you have deodorant, soap, you have water, razor blades, toothbrush, toothpaste, typically a blanket, underwear, socks. You could have warm items for like winter time, so like gloves and hats, scarves. So really it's, but then in the summertime, for example, you would have bug spray, sunscreen, as well as always food and snacks. So really it's figuring out what are the need that our youth have on the streets that's seasonal, and then providing those items to youth that are sleeping on the streets.
So that's crazy. So it's even tailored to, like you just said, the season. It's tailored to, so of course you've got the entire staff of IHYC putting this together, identifying the needs, and then going after those needs. And I'm going to go here, Toby. We were just talking the other night. Still, it blows my mind about the van. You know, that van, when I say van, I'm talking a vehicle here that drives around to meet the youth where they're at and to really provide these backpacks, these necessities, these whatever it is, and ultimately provide the resources. This is absolutely incredible. If you're tuning in right now, we're talking Reggie's Sleepout at Home. This is the last night that folks will be sleeping out for the actual fundraiser, not the last night, though, that people can get on board with this and really help out, make a difference in the youth's life. Another thing, Toby, that we've been doing for the past, 10 nights.
Yeah.
We've been encouraging people to, hey, share your photos if you're sleeping out. And we have people sleeping out that are teams, youth groups, church groups. We have individuals sleeping out. We have, and when I say sleeping out, it could be on your sofa. It could be in the tent. It could be however you want to creatively do it to raise awareness and get conversation going. Everybody. And it has been really encouraging throughout these last 10 nights to see the different ways that people are sleeping out. We've also been encouraging people that if you're sleeping out, to take a photo and share it with the hashtag RSO at home. And that hashtag gets it to where it needs to go, that we can share it and inspire others to do the same. And hopefully we can use some of these photos to inspire others in years to come, because this is not a one-time event, right, Toby?
That's right. Yep. Every year it's our signature fundraiser, and 100% of the proceeds go directly to providing services for homeless youth in our communities.
So 100%. And something you said last night that really got me floored too was you said 100% goes to, yes, the youth, but also locally. So that money, explain that real quick. The money that's raised stays local to where the money was raised, right?
Yep. So if a family fundraises and participates in Reggie Sleepout in Marshalltown, and then those funds would stay in Marshalltown to provide services for youth in our TLP program. So in Marshalltown. So it's really just an opportunity that whatever is raised locally is invested locally back into the community.
And TLP is one more acronym. We've got a lot of them. TLP stands for?
Transitional Living Program.
There you go. So the Transitional Living Program, another program that really helps youth get on their feet and helps them succeed, helps them have a life. and really have a future. So let's get to some pictures here, because I want to see some pictures tonight. So do we have some pictures that we want to highlight and put up there? And what are we looking at here?
So this is a young man named Ben. He's in the blue shirt in the cardboard box. And so he signed up and has a team that he's been fundraising for Reggie Sleepout. And him and his family, the Mitchell family, have been doing such an amazing job partnering with our agency. And they have kind of some goodie bags that they've been using, some incentives for fundraising at different levels. Just kind of getting creative, like we talked about, on how you can engage your neighbors and friends and family in the conversation around youth homelessness. And Betsy and Matt and their son Ben have just done a great job of kind of figuring out how to connect and raise funds. There's been some great communication between Ben and talking through what youth homelessness means, why he's raising money in the community, and how he wants to help homeless. There's a letter here as well that he wrote, and I believe he stepped out last night. And so it's just been a pretty cool story to see a young man who in 2015, when I believe he was maybe 5 or 6, came to his first Reggie Sleepout. You can see the middle picture there is him at Drake Stadium. And now he's a little bit older and still championing the cause of youth homelessness and raising funds and awareness for homeless youth in Iowa.
Oh, and that is awesome. I mean, I love I don't want to call them repeat offenders, but the repeat folks who partake in Reggie's Sleepout and get involved. And every year, my goodness, the difference that this can make in lives of kids that don't have to be homeless, but get educated about it. And just by being a part of this is incredible. Next year when this happens, I hope people watch these videos and they find some creative ways to get involved. I'm not sure. Go ahead.
Also, Rusty, that it's ways of getting engaged and connected to IHYC even stronger than kind of just participating in the sleep out. So Ben and his family came and served Thanksgiving dinner this past Thanksgiving at 612. So at our meal program, they provided food on Thanksgiving Day for our youth. So it's just having a greater investment and impact at our agency. The sky's really the limit. That there's the need is great, and people are able to get involved. And the Mitchell family is kind of one of those examples of kind of giving back.
Well, and there we have, I saw this photo today on Facebook. Yep. I was excited about this one here because this is a team that was participating, right?
Yep. United Methodist Church.
So yeah, West Des Moines, United Methodist Church. And look at that. This is inspiring. I mean, again, shows a team that can sleep out, that can educate, that can talk about this. And like you've said throughout the past nights, Toby, this is twofold. One is to really raise awareness. One, of course, is to raise funds, which in return raises awareness and in returns ultimately really, really helps youth. So this is great. A huge shout out to West Des Moines United Methodist Church. That is awesome. And I actually saw that on Facebook today and was just inspired by it. I was hoping we were going to share those.
It looks like their structure is pretty sturdy as well. I think a couple of the youth were sitting on top of it and one of the other. Yeah. So it's impressive structure.
Well, they are sitting on top of it, aren't they? I got to give props for that one. And this is where it can get creative. Be it, like I said, you're sleeping out on the sofa at home, doing something different. It can be as simple as that, or it could be like what you're seeing in these photos here, actually building boxes and taking the time to dialogue about that and really talk. I saw something else on Facebook today, and I don't know if we were able to grab the photos from it. So I'm going to do something I've never done, and we're going to try to do this. So bear with me here. I'm going to try to share my screen, and we're going to see if it works. I've never done this, so I've never even clicked here.
At least we're not trying to do it on live TV or anything, so that's good.
Okay, so Thank you. So, okay, so share entire screen, it says here. I'm trying to share. It's not working. Oh no, maybe it won't. Choose what you would like to share. Well, I would like to share everything is what I'd like to share, but it's not letting me. Well, shoot. So we might have to share these a little bit later on. If this is not working here. I'm going to try this. Now, let's see here. Is that sharing my screen?
Not yet.
Not yet. Well, boogers. Okay, so if that's not sharing my screen and we're not doing it, I wanted to show some pictures.
No, it looks like it just came up.
Oh, it did? Good. So do you see these pictures here?
It's pretty small.
It's pretty small, and I don't know how to make it bigger. I can do that, but I don't know if it's
Well, the good thing is Blake's going to be able to compile all of the photos on social media on Monday and kind of do a slideshow and send that out to all the campers so they can scroll through and see all the photos, as well as learn who won the photo challenge for the launch.
Right.
So that'll be coming out on Monday. We'll have all the photos. I think I know which team you wanted to share.
Do you? Because I was excited because I saw this on Facebook today and it was awesome. These photos are awesome. So what photos am I trying to share that now I've stopped sharing?
I believe that was Lisa's team.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And Lisa Hoffman, she of course is a huge advocate of YSS, also professional with YSS. And you got to see these photos, folks. They're awesome. They're creative. And so you say these will be shared later on.
Yep. On Monday or Tuesday, it'll be coming directly to all the people that registered for Reggie Sleepout. Okay.
So I tried, and I'm just the host. So I just host and not technical savvy here. So, but yes, so we will get those out on Monday. And anybody else who wants to share some photos, please, hashtag RSO at home. You can also post those on Reggie's Sleepout on Facebook and get those photos out there one more night. I'm excited to see the more photos that are going to come.
I want more photos of the morning after when people are groggy and waking up. The hair all messed up. So let's see some of those photos.
Okay. This could actually be a challenge. This could be. We could write that into a challenge. The challenge for tonight is to share photos of the morning after,
right?
And how everybody looks. Another thing that we've done throughout these nights is highlight a team. The teams, we just talked about those, be it a team that's a church group or an organization, or just a group of individuals that have got together and brand themselves as a team. So tonight, what team would we like to highlight, Toby?
So we always want to recognize kind of the teams that are raising significant amount of funds. And year after year, Team Andrew Allen, our president and CEO, I'm going to date myself because I'm going to use a term. His Rolodex is the largest thing, which maybe I should say his contact list for all you youngsters out there, is so significant. And when he fundraises for this event, Andrews is so humble and he doesn't want any of the spotlight. He probably would have been mad at me if I was bringing it up. And he was going to be here tonight and he apologizes he wasn't able to make it. But I felt what better way to embarrass him but talk about what a great job he does with his team, because without his support, his team and his family, they sleep out year after year. He's raising almost $16,000. And it's just a special connection for Andrew as someone who was on the board at IHYC and one of the kind of founding members of Reggie Sleepout. To participate every year, he comes to the events quietly and sleeps with his family, doesn't want any of the limelight. I can't be more proud of working for him and watching him support Reggie Sleepout. So tonight's team is Team Andrew. He was so quiet, he didn't even come up with a team name. So I just am calling it Team Andrew, but it's really him and his family year after year supporting Reggie Sleepout.
Awesome. Well, a shout out to Team Andrew. And my goodness, I mean, and I think Andrew also, if I heard right, because he was, I think, on the first night of our broadcasts.
Yep.
And he's slept out almost every single, or been a part of every single Reggie's Sleepout or close to, right?
Yep, that's correct.
I mean, wow. Again, the impact of just that and being involved. And for those that are tuning in, watching, be it you're watching live now or you're watching later, I mean, you can be a part of this. You can, every single year this happens. And I will be the first to say, Toby, and hold me to this. Should I say that or not? Next year, I want to be more a part of this. I want to go out and I want to recruit these teams that we're highlighting. I want to get, because there's really no reason that everybody shouldn't be a part of this.
Yeah, you know, when we were doing the outreach, it is so different from a one-night facility location-based event that when it became for anyone, we did kind of a strategic campaign where we created door hangers and we had volunteers go out into the community and go in their neighborhoods and put invitations on their neighbors' doors. But we need hundreds of people doing that because we couldn't spread the word as wide as we could. So next year, Rusty, I think you could lead some of that awareness and kind of outreach. It's really amazing the size of the reach when you can invite people personally at their home. So
and hopefully
that's larger.
Yeah, and there you go. You just said it personally. Word of mouth. I mean, actually talking with somebody, showing them these videos, which will be, I'm sure, archived, that you can show, that can talk about these, play the videos that we've been playing tonight, or and all these videos you can watch that throughout the broadcast for the past 10 nights. Show these videos to people, especially next year. Get them excited and get them to jump on board to take part in this. And again, to raise the money. So we're at $100,000 now, a little over $100,000. Still, the goal is $130,000. Still, the goal is $130,000. We would like to get to that. And we've got one more big night, which is tonight. Also tonight, we would like to talk about some statistics, some stats, the kind of did you know, because I can't tell you, Toby, even talking with people, as I've been trying to gear them up to watch these videos, some people don't think that homeless youth is an issue here in Iowa. In a small state, we kind of, we take pride in that. No, it's not that big of an issue. It is a big issue alone by what you just said, that the Iowa Homeless Youth Center serves 600, what was it?
650 typically in a year.
Yeah, 650 in a year. So we definitely, so what is the did you know stats for tonight that we want to let people know?
So for tonight, I really wanted to kind of touch on what are the main things I want people who participated at Reggie Sleepout to kind of remember, or what are kind of just a couple talking points that, so it's some things that we've talked about in the past, but it's really the main ones that I hope people take away with this knowledge. And so that first one of the kind of did you know is really that number one cause for youth homelessness is an unsafe home environment. So kind of just losing that lottery in life, being born into a chaotic, unsafe home is the cause of youth homelessness. And I want people to understand that it's not laziness, it's not substance abuse, and mental health. Some of those are things that come about because of it. But really the number one cause is having an unsafe home and having to leave. And then the second, did you know, is just wanting to highlight our downtown facility in Des Moines, the Youth Opportunity Center. It's really, and that's a picture of it right there. It's a drop-in center. You can see the computer lab and the dining space. It's just a safe place for homeless youth to go to if they don't have anywhere else to go. And so I want people to understand 612 Locust. If you come across anyone, if you've come across a youth that's homeless or someone asks, 612 Locust is the place to go, the Youth Opportunity Center. And then the third, did you know, is just wanting to talk about the concept of housing first and rapid rehousing. So housing first is really where we place a youth in their own apartment right away no conditions, no requirements. They don't have to be making a certain amount of income. There are no qualifications. Everyone deserves a home. And Housing First is that model where you place someone in their own apartment, and then you wrap services around them and help them stay in that apartment. And rapid rehousing is one of those main components for helping youth find safe housing. So kind of those are the three components of the did you know. The youth homelessness is caused by unsafe home. The Youth Opportunity Center is a great resource for homeless youth. And then Housing First and rapid rehousing are kind of some of those long-term solutions to youth homelessness.
Wow. And again, every single night, again, I'm just the host. I come on and I host. Every single night blows my mind. Because in the past, we've talked about the actual stats of homeless youth and how important. And then, like just tonight, we talked about the resources and what there is to offer and what we have to offer, which, if I may say, should make us pretty darn proud, Toby. I mean, that should make us proud that we have resources like 612. I walked into 612 for the first time 2 months ago, and I was blown away with the resources there. So if folks want to find out how you can get more involved in 612 or any of the programs that we're talking about, you can go to yss.org.
Yep.
And you can find out how to get involved in that, or you can go to iowahomelessyouth.org. And find out how to volunteer. There's professional job listings there, everything. Speaking of YSS, which is an organization that I work for, that Toby works for, we have a lot of different programs that ultimately are centered around serving the community and serving youth. And each night we also like to highlight kind of an education program or something that's happening. And tonight, Toby, what are we highlighting? I've heard about this. I don't know much about it, though, so I'm kind of giddy about this one.
Well, we've really identified kind of a gap in services for homeless youth in our community, that we really have kind of identified basic need and emergency services are established, kind of the housing services, the education services, and really what was missing was workforce training, understanding kind of soft skills. How do you function in the workforce? What are the right social norms? How do I practice kind of like an internship? Most of our youth don't have a resume. They really haven't worked very much. They definitely haven't worked in a job that has career potential in it. And so we wanted to create a program around workforce training. And so the program that we're going to highlight tonight is called Rooftop Gardens. And so it's social entrepreneurial workforce training, utilizing agriculture, urban agriculture, as the vehicle for that workforce training. And I believe we have a video on it, and then we can kind of talk a little bit more about it.
Okay.
Should be coming up any minute.
Hopefully we have a video that will be coming up, because I'm excited to see this video, because I've heard a lot about this, but I again, honestly don't know that much about it. And if the video doesn't come up, we'll just have to talk about it.
Yep.
So, do we have the video? So real quick, as the video is getting fired up, Toby, when we say rooftop garden, are we literally talking about a rooftop garden?
We are. So we purchased a parcel of land on the east side of Des Moines on Euclid, and we are going to build a 7,000 square foot facility and have a rooftop garden and greenhouse on top of that facility. And we'll have 2 hydroponic farms where we'll grow fresh produce 12 months out of the year and employ and have youth kind of learn those soft skills. They'll participate in the program. It'll be a 30-hour a week. They'll be able to earn a financial stipend, $12 an hour, and be in this program for 3 months. And I think here's the video.
Okay, awesome.
With Rooftop Gardens, our goal is to carefully cultivate our plants, to nurture them, and provide the time and attention they need to put down strong roots and stand tall on their own. It's the same goal we have for homeless youth in Iowa. Rooftop Gardens will employ these youth to operate our year-round rooftop greenhouse, helping them find the steady ground they need to break the cycle of poverty and re-engage with the community. In addition to feeding homeless youth, our locally grown produce will also be sold throughout central Iowa, creating a social, entrepreneurial, self-sufficient business dedicated to helping youth grow. So we identified that youth who come into our receive services at our agency, they can get housing, food, essential need items, education, employment assistance. But really what was missing was workforce training. So most of our youth don't have a resume. They don't have job experience, and they really didn't have an adult that was able to provide that oversight of kind of what it means to function in the workplace.
A lot of our youth who are coming into entry level, they don't have skills, and so like, oh, do you have packaging? Do you have warehouse skills? No. Okay, there you go. You can't get a job with us, or do you have work experience? No, because I've been on the streets, I've been unstable. What do you mean? Maybe I kept a job, but I've been worrying about food and survival, and so this will be able to give them skills in a level where there's no precursors to getting a job. No, like you are able to just work, get the skills, and then after that we will be able to support them. What the Rooftop Garden does is eliminate work barriers. So there's that revolving door. To get a job, you need experience, but to get experience, you need a job, right?
Well, most of the youth that we work with have gone through a significant amount of trauma. And so what that means is they don't trust other adults and individuals in the community because they've kind of been taken advantage of. So what we needed to do was create a workforce training program that was safe for our youth to kind of practice and experience what it means and what are the social cues and social norms of operating at a job, communicating with your supervisor and your staff, or kind of what that looks like to be in a professional setting. And agriculture, it really was a logical thought process, knowing that this is the state of Iowa. We are agriculture here. And it was looking at how can we incorporate farming and raising fresh produce and to be able to employ and have our youth in this program as an apprenticeship. Originally, it was going to be located at our downtown facility at 612 Locust Street. And we found out it was going to be cost prohibitive. We wouldn't be able to do that project here. So we had to pivot, find another piece of parcel of land here in Des Moines, 2705 East Euclid Avenue. We found a vacant parcel of land that we just purchased, and we're working with Simonson and Associates, who's the architect, and Roshan Construction is the general contractor. And that team, alongside our agency, is looking to break ground in the fall of 2020, and then be up and running in late spring or early summer next year. The shipping containers will be delivered from a group out of Boston called Freight Farms. They have a great website that you can learn about the shipping containers, and Freight Farms is a great industry leader in hydroponic farms. And so really that team with Simonson and Roshan and our agency is leading the charge on getting this program up and running, and we hope to be fully functioning next year.
Okay, that is crazy. That's crazy. Whoa. Okay, I don't even know where to go here. So, did I just see those blueprints?
Yep, those are some of the plans. They seem to be ever changing, but we're right in the thick of it. We've submitted for site plan approval with the city of Des Moines. We have most of our funds raised for the project, and we hope either in October or November to pour the foundation and then finish the building next year in spring, summer, and be up and running.
Rooftop Gardens doesn't even capture that. Holy cow, that is awesome. I mean, that's huge.
It's really changing the model for kind of nonprofit, how we operate. So traditionally, as you know, you go write some big grant that's saying the stuff that you're going to do, and then you hope you get the grant, and then you get the grant, and then you go to the work, and then you hope you get the grant again. And if you don't get it, there's just so much risk with that. And then with Rooftop Gardens, it's social entrepreneurial and self-sufficient. So us selling all the plants will generate a margin for our agency. It'll cover all the expenses. It'll cover the youth's financial stipend, the salary of the program staff. So we won't need any grants or other funding for it to be self-sufficient. And so it's really innovative. It is challenging trying to create kind of a new program. But it's worth it, because if we get this thing up and running, it's only going to help our youth be self-sufficient and get jobs in the future. They're able to get jobs. So they're going to do all of the planting, the seedlings, the watering, the harvesting, the packaging, the distribution. They could get a job at FedEx or UPS. They could work at Hy-Vee. They could work at a greenhouse. They could work at a call center anywhere. Really, the sky's the limit. And it's just using agriculture as that vehicle, like I said, for workforce training, and to be able to grow fresh produce. We'll be able to grow over 1,000 plants a week, 12 months out of the year. And we're going to be selling those through Hy-Vee to the community. That will then generate a 9% operating margin on that program. So instead of it needing additional funds, we'll be able to support our street outreach team, or some of those survival backpack kits we were talking about. Some of those needs, this program will generate that surplus revenue to drive that back towards homeless youth services.
Only in Iowa. That's all I gotta say. Which is why I moved back to Iowa after being gone for like 15 years, because this is roots. This is the roots that we're talking about. And with the Rooftop Gardens, what an incredible program. And I don't think you could get more all-encompassing than that, like what you were just talking about. I mean, even the budgeting skills and learning, and like you say, the employment opportunities afterwards. A huge shout out to the partners that are making this possible for Rooftop Gardens. My goodness. And if Toby, if people are listening to this and they want to get involved with this exciting, groundbreaking development and this project, where do they go?
They can go to our website, and you can either email me or reach out through our volunteer connection. And we'd love to explore how you'd like to get involved with Rooftop Gardens. We're hopeful that by next year we're up and running. But really, it's just helping youth practice all those skills. You think about if no one ever told you need to call when you're sick, if you're not going to show up, or you need to show up on time. If you never had a mom or a dad or anyone that could tell you that or show that to you, you just don't know. And so this program is just for our youth to be able to have that safety net, that they can practice what it means to function in the workforce. And I'm excited to create the programming around it, the growing of the plants, and it's going to be something that I think is transformational for our community, and something I'd love to be able to roll out in all the YSS locations.
Yeah, and again, Toby, hold me to it. I want to be a part of this.
Okay.
Now thinking about this, should have I said that again? But this is so exciting. This is so exciting. And if anybody listening, you want to be a part of this, please. It takes a village. It really does take a village to do things like this. And you can go to yss.org, find out all about this. And Toby, you might have made a mistake. I just saw your email up there, which was toberry@yss.org. So folks can email you too, to get involved, and also to really learn how that you can champion. You can invite, you can invest, and help the homeless youth break out of this cycle of poverty.
That's really kind of the next step that we're hopeful for, that people participate in Reggie Sleepout. If you want to have even a greater impact, reach out to me. I'd love to have a 30-minute Zoom meeting with you where we can talk about our programming or how you want to get involved. But it is around that champion, invite, and invest. So be a champion for our agency, invite others to learn about our agency, and then invest in our agency, invest in the youth that we work with. And so kind of some of those next steps would just be reaching out to me, and I'd love to sit down one-on-one or virtually and just kind of have a deeper conversation on how you can invest in our agency.
Yeah, because investing is the future. And my goodness, talking about the now, with just what's happened this year, we're at, I believe, a little over $100,000. So yeah, $101,128 of a ultimately $130,000 goal that we were shooting for. This is the last night of Reggie's Sleepout at home, but it's not the last night to get involved. And this can keep going because we're opening up the books here, if you will. And Toby, you'll have to help me out with this a little bit, but I think that we're keeping things going through the end of September. Is that right?
That's right.
So people can still donate. You can still you're still welcome to sleep out and still welcome to even send us your photos. But you're definitely welcome to donate. And like Toby just shared with you too, reach out to him. You can reach out to him all year long, 24/7, 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning. Sorry, Toby.
Wonderful, Rusty. Thank you.
But no, you're well. The big thing is that we all get involved. Everybody has a way to play some role in this. And be it financially, absolutely, finances are of the utmost important, but volunteering, getting the word out just by word of mouth to a neighbor, to a coworker when you're working and you happen to be talking, if you're a teacher, to another teacher, if you're a janitor talking to any of the staff, please get the word out there about this, because again, it really, really does take a big village. So Toby, what else do we want to tell folks, and who do we want to thank? Because I see a huge thank you to our sponsors right up there on the screen.
Yep, definitely want to thank our sponsors for making this a reality through this pandemic and through COVID-19. Just to be able to raise $100,000 to support our youth that need that additional help during the pandemic is special. So I can't thank all the sponsors enough, and all the campers. So everyone who participated during these 10 nights, sleeping out, getting uncomfortable, learning about our programs and services. Thank you for participating. It's really a grassroots effort. The average gift is about $25, $50. And so it's friends asking friends, coming together as a community and helping to raise funds for youth homelessness. So thank you to the sponsors, to the campers. And really, we want to talk a little bit next about kind of all those goodies and giveaways that people get for participating. We want to thank people for sleeping out and for camping. And so we have kind of the next item would be the incentives, the claiming those incentives and the t-shirts. So people will be getting an email tomorrow and throughout the week on how kind of the next steps will go. But you can kind of see what that would look like. There's the Reggie Sleepout at Home sweatshirt right there. You can see it's a pretty cool design for this year. And you'll be able to redeem your credit for the funds that you raised on an online portal starting on Monday. You can also purchase additional items. Say you want to buy a sweatshirt for grandma or something. You'll be able to buy additional items if you didn't maybe earn enough to receive that item, or you want an additional of the same thing. And the site closes on the 27th of this month. So you got a couple weeks to redeem your items. But we're just trying to make it easy for people where they're able to get their items and have them sent to them and kind of go from there.
Okay, so there you have it. You can still redeem items. Well, you can redeem your items because now that Reggie's Sleepout is officially closed after tonight, as far as the actual sleep out, you can go there, redeem your items, even purchase items if you want to inspire folks to jump on board and get involved for next year. And that is an itching question I have, Toby.
Right.
Do you know what next year looks like? I mean, because this year's been exciting. This has been awesome.
Yeah, I think we've kind of bitten the bug a little bit that this seems like a really exciting format for us.
Yeah.
And we really like the local connection that it could bring. And so next year, we're going to bring all of our communities together and try and roll out Reggie Sleepout in all of the YSS locations across Iowa for that same time period to provide services for homeless youth in all of these communities. And so we're going to be kind of expanding Reggie Sleepout's footprint. Started in Des Moines. We're going to stay and continue in Des Moines, but we're going to expand even further into even more communities. So for next year, it should be bigger and better, but still staying true to the message of raising awareness and funds for youth homelessness. All
right. So, and that, going back to my village message, which I bring up every single broadcast practically, is that it takes a village. Mm-hmm. And next year, it's going to take a village to pull this off. So if you want to be involved in this, please jump on board. And you can do that by visiting reggiesleepout.org, or I'm going to do it again, Toby. I'm going to give out your email. I'm doing it.
Go for it.
Okay, thank you very much. That is toberry@yss.org. And Toby would love to talk with you a little bit more. Even he offered to set up even a Zoom meeting to talk with you about how you can be a part of this and be a part of all the exciting things that are happening, like you just watched the Rooftop Gardens and everything else here. So, Toby, I want to make sure that I don't miss anything with our last broadcast. Anything else that you want to leave folks with?
Other than, I wasn't sure if you saw Kelly's comment that she thought maybe you could broadcast Reggie Sleepout next year from Rooftop Gardens.
Oh, no, I love it. Kelly, bravo. Look at you go. That is actually pretty darn creative. And we could do concerts up there. We could, oh, you got me spinning here. Okay.
I just want to thank everyone for participating. It was a different year. Hats off to all the staff for pivoting and not just giving up, not just saying we can't do it, and coming up with an event that I think is, if not equal, but better by allowing more people to participate. So we'll definitely always have facility-based opportunities and things, but to allow more people to sleep out, I'm happy that we were able to pivot. And I think we're just going to strengthen and grow Reggie Sleepout for next year.
Yeah. And I could not do my part without giving a huge shout out to Toby O'Berry, all of the IHYC staff, all of those within YSS that have made this possible, all of the teams, all of the financial sponsors, and, also I have to bring up also the gentleman behind the screen here again, Blake and Blake Willumsen. I want to say a huge shout out to you, who has been steering all of these videos, putting everything together, making it all work for this. And next year, folks, this is exciting. I'm excited to be a part of it next year, and I hope you are too. Again, things don't close right now, so please, we're at $101,000, need to get to $130,000. Go to reggiesleepout.org. If you're still sleeping out tonight, post your pictures. Hashtag RSO at home. Get those to us so that we can use those even next year to inspire folks. And for all of this information, if you want to find out even professional opportunities, and with IHYC, how to get involved, yss.org. That was a lot of websites that I just
You nailed it.
Okay, well, Toby, thank you so much, Toby O'Berry, and honestly, thank you for everything you do, and thank you for changing the lives that you do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Rusty, for helping make this such a smooth event. So thank you. Hats off to you as well, because you did a great job.
All right. Well, thank you all, and enjoy your evening. And for those sleeping out, for our last night of Reggie's Sleep Out, for the Sleep Out, enjoy your evening and be safe.